Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Again, yes, so Wick is in the radar. This time around, friend and ally is literally wanting Wick to do this now, or else he may have himself to blame. But it looks like Wick himself, yes, so Wick, the FCT minister, seems to have something up his sleeves. Though he's not making it public, but if you get to see the drama that has been unfolding for some few days now, Rivers State, you realize that Wick is not perturbed. In fact, there's something up his sleeves that is yet to unleash, but the fingers are there. If you are technically watching the situation, you realize that Wick's finger is already in this local government issue. But let's, go through our news to get to see some of those technicalities. But before we go to the newspaper to find out what his ally is telling him now to do, because it looks like he's literally losing his home base, like subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it to the bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. My colleague is in the house. Well, the former PDP presidential candidate Dele Momodu recently delivered a thought-provoking speech urging Wike, a prominent PDP leader and the current minister of the FCT, to reconcile with his supporters and revert to his former path. Momodu recognized Wike's weaknesses on his official social media handle, but also praised his strength. Say what you will, Mr. Wike has what it takes to deliver on good projects, he said. Now, Momodu wrote, he said, he got guts. He has the guts. Let's say what for what. Say what you will, Mr. Wike has what it takes to deliver on good project. He has the guts to initiate or conclude bold projects and hire the best contractors to deliver spectacularly. Like all humans, he suffers his foibles and idiosyncrasies. The unfortunate path of his trajectory is the lack of anger management. He easily gets carried away with the belief that money can buy anyone and do anything. Once you prove him wrong by debunking this superstition about money, he flies into a rage. You would expect a Christian like him to know and learn about forgiveness from biblical teachings and injunctions, but not Wike. He must fight every enemy, imaginary or real. He also doesn't know when to stop. Like a poor general, he fights on all fronts, thus leaving some flanks open. And Momodu expressed concern about Wike's resilience on financial influence, stating he tends to believe that money has the power to sway anyone and achieve anything. If you demonstrate that this notion is false, he becomes furious. Momodu proceeded to condemn Wike's manner of leadership, asserting that he engages in combat with every perceived opponent, regardless of whether they are real or imagined. According to him, Wike lacks the sense of when to give up and, like a helpless general, battles on all fronts, opening up certain flanks. In his closing statement, Momodu appealed for peace, suggesting that Wike had an opportunity to reconsider and reconcile with his community. He said ultimately he will still return home whenever politics is over. Let him bury his ego and anger. He has much more to gain or lose. My colleague is in the house. This is thought-provoking and this is quite deep. Coming from Dele Momodu, again he's saying something that Wike have really not thought about, I guess. I think you should go ask the likes of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the likes of Jonathan, former president of Nigeria. Even you shouldn't even go too far. You should ask the likes of Rotimi Amechi. Just fairly recently, Charlie Boy saw Amechi at the airport all alone, no siren, no bodyguards, no generals, no DSS, no protocol, no aides anywhere, just sitting all alone, not even on a private jet, on a normal public flight that every other common average Nigerian flies. And this time around, no ugly blocking people from accessing him. He became an ordinary Nigerian citizen. And this is one part of Wike's life I guess he's not considering. My colleague is in the house. What's your take?
Well, when it comes to issue of Wike, I must give it also to him. He's a very strategic politician. That's number one. And I don't know how he knew, but at the point, I think he felt that Bola Tinubu was going to win. So strategically, he positioned himself to at least enter into a contract with Bola Tinubu so that at the end of the day he will not be an object of mockery. And we're already seeing it. It's very glaring that he is, of all the governors that had been in power, I think he's the one of them that is getting utmost support from President Bola Tinubu. And that's a way of, for him, he will always have his way around. And I also believe that he's strategizing even for the future. But be that as it may, I think the advice extended to him by his one of his top supporters, Dele Momodu, the aviation man, I think is one that must be considered, considering his age and also the fact that this little cankerworm can spread so fast and be one of the object of destruction to his political career. Because oftentimes, when you act in that capacity, you may not know that there is a future beyond your anger. One day, the money will fail. A lot of things will fail. And who will stand up for you? It will be your ardent supporters. Though you still have a lot of supporters in Rivers State, because fairly recently I've watched a video of some top politician gathering, and their gathering was meant to, still extend, their support for him. But I know that the reason why they are supporting him is because of his political strength. So that's why too he doesn't want to lose the political strength for anything. He sits down, look at the game of politics, and he knows at what time somebody will emerge. So, and he already knows that what is giving him that relevance is the structure that he has in a state like Rivers. That's why he will never give up on this fight until he wins. And I believe that if Bola Tinubu stands by him, there is no way he will not win in this fight. And he wants to see how he can preserve that particular structure till eternity so that at least it will continually be a name. But the advice extended to him by Dele Momodu is one, that he should consider speedily, at least to preserve his health and also to preserve his sanity, because anything can happen when it comes to politics.
Yeah, that ends it real good. Anything can happen. He may think he's having his way. He may think he has calculated it politically very correct. Anything can happen. Who believe that there will be a third force in 2023 election and someone like Peter Obi, who prior to that time was just a normal person who is one-time governor, who was the vice presidential candidate for Atiku Abubakar, had a peaceful disposition. Nobody believed that he would have been a third force, that the whole nation, the whole Nigerian youth, both in diaspora and in Nigeria, gave him support. Some persons even made bold statements insisting that if Peter Obi even gets 1 million votes, they will do a lot of things. But he got more than 1 million. That's to tell you that in politics, anything and everything is possible. While he does his calculations very well, he shouldn't forget that human factor, which cannot be that spiritual factor, that factor that which we cannot predict, we can only say, can only envisage, but eventually lies in the hands of God to determine. That's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in that conversation. What's it take?
Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze.